Have you ever ended the day and thought, what did I even do today? Maybe not in a dramatic way, but just in that subtle, hollow, empty sort of way. Maybe you answered the emails, you took the calls, you checked the boxes, but it all felt forgettable, like you're stuck on repeat. Same sound of the alarm, same dread to get out of bed. But you're a high achiever, so you suppress the feelings and you do the hard work anyway. You go to the bathroom wondering what you're going to do today, only to remember it's the same thing you do every single day. Same routine, same actions, same results, same lackluster feelings, same blah day. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you something really, really important. That, my friend, is not burnout. That's not boredom. That's the absence of presence. And if your days are starting to blur together, if your relationships feel flat, if you're achieving but still feeling disconnected, this episode is your wake up call. Because despite what you might think and what I used to think, present isn't just some mindfulness buzzword. It's actually the foundation for fulfillment, for clarity, for actual joy. It's what makes you feel alive in your life, not just going through it. And today, I'm going to show you why high performers lose their presence, how it's quietly killing your momentum, and most importantly, how to rebuild it step by step. So stick around. All right, welcome back or welcome to the High Performance Human Podcast. I want to thank you so much for giving me some of your time. And hey, if these episodes are helping you in any way, the easiest, no cost way to give back is to leave a quick review. It takes just a couple minutes, but it helps more people find the show and it lets me know it's making a difference. And please, if any of these episodes hit you hard or makes you think, please share it on social media and tag me at Creighton_Bertrand. I had someone reach out to me just last week and it lit me up to see the action that he's taking from listening to the show. So please don't be a stranger. Reach out. I love hearing from you guys. All right, and now back to the show. Okay, let's talk about presence. What is it? And why does it matter? Why are we even talking about it today? Well, to explain that, I want to share where I always like to start. And that's with the exact opposite. Presence is being here. So let's talk about absence. Because most high achievers don't realize how absent they've become from their own lives until the damage is already showing. And you're not checked out because you don't care, despite what you think. Most high achievers are checked out because their mind is stuck in time, either in the past or in the future. So let me ask you, which one are you? Are you in the past, rehashing regrets, wondering how things could have gone? Or are you living in the future, waiting until you hit the goal, getting the raise, making the money to finally feel better? Which one are you? Because here's what I see with so many of my clients. Some are stuck trying to rewrite their past. Others are stuck fantasizing about a better future. But either way, no matter which one you are, they and you are missing what's happening right now. And unfortunately, to make matters worse, your brain is actually encouraging this bad behavior. Because when you're not present, your brain downshifts. And when I say downshift, I'm not saying in the good way, like a race car downshifting into a corner. But this downshift is like your engine cutting out completely, sort of way. The dopamine, gone. Serotonin, gone. Motivation, not existing. And when they all drop, what happens? You're not present. And the result is your nervous system stops registering meaning. And that's why you go numb, because you're no longer feeling anything in your life. And that's why so many high performers drift through the day only to realize that they can't even remember what actually happened. Because you see, it's not laziness, it's actual neural fatigue, because you're no longer living throughout the day. You're just getting through it. And that disconnection, unfortunately, it doesn't stay contained with you. It leaks into probably everything in your life, your marriage, your kids, your work, because real connection requires real attention. And if you're not emotionally present, the people around you, they can feel it. And if you don't believe me, then please take a minute. Go ask your partner. Go ask them to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 on how connected they feel you are in the relationship. Then, after you get punched in the face by them, go do the same thing with your kids. Ask them how you're doing for them in your life. That should tell you everything that you need to know. I had a client recently tell me that the biggest breakthrough from our coaching wasn't a strategy or a tool or some tactical habit that we went through. It was actually presence. And I get it. Because if you told me years ago that presence was going to change someone's life, I would have rolled my eyes and asked, where's your crystals or your essential oils at? But hear me out. Here's what actually happened. That presence repaired his marriage. That presence made him the father that he wanted to be. That presence gave him the clarity in his business where he wanted to show up. Because for the first time in a long time, he was in his life again, not watching it pass by, not waiting for something to arrive, but he was here, present, and most importantly, in control of his life. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've been exactly where he was too. Because there was a season in my life and in my marriage where I'd go through the motions. I'd go out to dinner with my wife and really my best friend, which was my phone. She'd be scrolling on her phone. I'd be scrolling on mine. We were checking the box of, oh, we're going on date night. But there was no connection. Literally, it was just two people coexisting on the opposite sides of the table. And the real truth, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to feel the discomfort that I felt without my phone. So I kept myself distracted, daydreaming about anything other than where I was at that moment. It wasn't until maybe the third or fourth week of these hollow date nights that we finally looked at each other and said, you know what, this isn't working. We've been together 7 years. We've got 2 kids, but we don't even know each other anymore. And there wasn't some dramatic breakthrough that changed everything in our life. It was repetition. It was deciding to show up to a broke, bruised, and emotionally bankrupt relationship and just be there week after week. We started leaving our phones in the car. We started making eye contact. We started actually listening and paying attention to one another. And slowly but surely, we started falling back in love. You see, presence saved our marriage. Not a vacation, not a gift, just being with each other. Because here's the truth. Every good thing in your life, listen to me, every good thing in your life requires your presence. And one of my favorite things that I've come to believe is this: every day is a present, but it can only be open with presence. And when you stop drifting and start being present, something amazing happens. You start to actually feel again. You notice the beauty of the small things. Maybe it's your kids' laugh. Maybe it's the way your partner looks at you. Or maybe it's the sound of the wind. Or maybe it's a damn bird flying across the sky. Because I've had clients literally tell me Creighton, I saw a bird today and it was beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you hippie. But I get it. I've been there. I've been outside and I've seen a bird and I've seen a flower in a way that I've never seen it before. And that's what happens when you slow down enough to finally notice. Because when you do that, you experience life the way it was intended to be at one time speed again. And it's like, I like to use the analogy of watching a movie the way that it was meant to actually be watched. A movie's not meant to be watched at 4 times speeds just so that you can get to the end and say that you finished it. But a movie was made to be watched at the right pace, where the story makes sense, that the emotions land, and you actually remember the plot and the dialogue. Because when you're present, you stop numbing, you stop surviving, you start choosing. And when you're present, you can finally see what's broken in your life or your business. And you can see why it's broken. Because without presence, you're blind and you can't fix what you can't see. You see, presence gives you your vision back. So, how do you do this? How do you actually get to be more present in your life? Well, it starts with intention, not a dramatic life overhaul, just a small, focused choice. So, pick one moment in your day where you're going to practice being present. Maybe it's 15 minutes with your kid, undistracted. Maybe it's a real conversation with your spouse where the phone stays in another room. Maybe it's something as simple as sitting with your coffee in silence instead of scrolling your phone. Whatever it is, set the intention before it happens. So let's use an example of maybe you want to practice spending more time with your kid, for example. Tell them, hey, I want to hang out with you maybe for the next 15 minutes, or set a time during the day after school at 3:45 or 4 o'clock. But tell them the intention. I want to hang out with you for 15 minutes. No phone, no distraction, just me and you. Can you help me stay present? Now you set up the expectation with yourself and with them. Then set yourself up for success. Make sure you have a good environment. Put your phone in another room. And another thing you can do is you can set a timer on a stopwatch or something like that so your brain doesn't freak out and say, well, how long has it been? Let it do its job. And then you can actually be in the moment. It makes it so much easier for you to focus on here and now if you're not worried about the future. When's it going to go off? And here's the most important part when you do this. It's when, not if, but when your mind starts to drift, when you're being present with your child or your spouse or your coffee or anything, don't shame yourself because it's gonna happen. And that's not failure. That's just part of being human and your brain doing what it does. It's an untrained animal. And what I want you to do instead is come back to the moment. Notice when you're drifting and anchor to just one sense. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you taste? Or what do you smell right now? Because that's what presence is. It's not about perfection, it's about returning to the now. And if you want another quick daily tool to practice presence during your boring days that you're forgetting everything, just set an alarm on your phone at maybe 10 a.m. that just says, where are you? Not physically, but where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? Where are you spiritually? And like I mentioned earlier, just go through your senses. Go through your 5 senses and focus on one. Experience it. Notice it. Because that one pause might be the thing that brings you back to your life. So here's your challenge for this week. I want you to pick one moment, one relationship, one conversation, one instance, and be all in. Set the time, remove the distractions, tell the person what your intent is. And when your mind drifts, just come back. That's the practice. Because the real reason your life might feel numb isn't that it's not good. It's that you're not present to experience it. And I can't tell you how many of my clients have done the work, have built the businesses, have provided for their family, but they've forgotten how to feel. And hear me when I say presence is the way back. So please stop racing through the day. Stop waiting for tomorrow, and let's get back in the game today. If this resonated, DM me, Creighton_Bertrand, and tell me what moment you're going to be fully present for this week. And I, my friend, will hold space for you. Now, take a deep breath. Let it out. And notice something around you. And let's get to work.